So, David, we're finally here. I think we've been talking about this for quite a few months, and you posted something on your Facebook today, and it just summed up why this has taken so long. And it's all about always talking about something, planning to do something, and going, I'm going to do this, do that, but never actually doing it. So I love that you posted this today. It says, no one cares about what you plan to do. Share what you are doing and what you've done. And we're finally here having this chat. And welcome to the double take. As we've discussed, it's going to be you and I having a quick chat, but I'll let you introduce yourself. This is a friend that I've met through my network on Facebook. Great guy, also in the creative space. And this is David Gauthier, and here's his little piece of intro.
Thanks for that. I'm happy we're getting on despite not having the best setup. Just practicing what I preach, and you're practicing what I'm preaching. So I'm proud of you for getting on, getting this started first and foremost. And I guess a quick intro, since I don't want to make this all about like my whole thing because that would take hours. Started back in full-time freelancing back in 2018, like a few years before the pandemic and all that. Got my hands dirty inside of Upwork as a solo freelancer, a couple of years of that. And then I realized that I didn't want to do the solo freelancing. I like building a team and having an actual business. So I got into the agency space and tried a whole bunch of different things: paid ads, websites, videos, sales, even a little freelance coaching a few years back. And it all came down to I enjoy making videos, even though I'm not like a video producer or editor by trade, which got me to be forced to start an agency since I didn't want to be sitting for 8+ hours a day editing videos, but more so be the director, be the business owner. So that's how Attention Rocket, my agency, came to life back in 2021. And then ever since, I've been talking about how to create content that turns into customers for your small online service business. That's been my jam ever since. A lot of different iterations, but to this day, the same mission is helping clients turn their video content into customers to grow the business, grow their brand. So that's a very quick background. And along the way, I've been doing all this remotely. I've been doing the semi-slow digital nomad thing as I was doing this. That's like one of the drawbacks with that is that you don't always have access to your perfect home setup, which is why you can see that it looks like I'm shooting off a potato gun. I wanted to get this done with you, and doing it is better than doing it perfectly doesn't exist. So it's a lesson for anyone that's watching or listening. Like, just get her done and learn from those things to have a better iteration next time. So we can tie this intro into whatever else you want to talk about.
Yeah, I think you and I come from a very similar backgrounds. I've done a lot of different stuff in the marketing, creative industry, advertising, all those kind of industries, and kind of jack of all trades, done a bit of everything. And what I really want to do with this video series is to go into the minds of the mistakes, the pitfalls that we make along the way, and where we're at now, where we're building really successful agencies. I know we've discussed together what you're doing, what I'm doing with Design. And I think one of those things is learning from such things that have happened this week. So we all know everything's happened with CapCut and TikTok. Myself, I'm not actually on TikTok, however much I see TikTok everywhere, because I'm from that generation where you see the TikToks on Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, it's the hysteria around the ban. And then I think a lot of people were taken by surprise when they opened CapCut the next day on the 19th of January and saw that, wait a minute, where's CapCut? And I don't think people realized. And my Facebook was just, has anybody got an alternative for CapCut? And I saw that you posted a really great YouTube video, and I wanted to discuss a little bit with you today. What's your best bit of advice for anybody that's in this space? We're not just talking TikTok and CapCut, but we're talking people that use Facebook for their business, people that use LinkedIn, people that use Instagram, and then people that use these apps, be that Adobe Suite or be it Affinity, be it anything that's creative that you rely on a day-to-day basis. Like, how do you protect your business when you use these singular apps?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about all this without seeming like I'm just hopping on a trend or trying to be a like a wannabe version of Gary Vee, but he says a lot of generic stuff, but also a lot of it is valid, and it all goes back to what your intention and purpose. What's your purpose and mission with this business that you're building, with this brand that you're building? Are you on TikTok to grow? Like the people that are on TikTok, did you get on TikTok because you saw that you could do a few silly dances and then
Yeah.
monetize through OnlyFans or whatever it is, or have a TikTok shop or whatever it is? Are you a TikToker or a business owner? That's what I want to start with to set the tone for this. And also the fact that I'm also not a huge, overall, I'm not really a scroller. I like creating a lot more than actually consuming.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a certain level of consumption that's required for you to create videos because
Mm-hmm.
without consumption, you have no context. So you still need to be a consumer. But going back to TikTok, I don't really care for TikTok. I haven't had any clients from my TikTok account. All I use TikTok for is repurposing my reels from other platforms that I focus on, which have a better direct message component to the platform, such as IG. Even LinkedIn reels these days are popping because not many people use those. But just to stay on your TikTok question and all this, I think, yeah, I needed to make a video really quick to get all these thoughts out as it was happening
Mm-hmm.
because it was more of a news video. I could have optimized it better, could have gone deeper into it. But the whole point was to really remind people that, hey, this might be hard. It might be scary if you're relying on TikTok as a creator to grow your brand and business. If you're a creator first business, or CapCut if you're a video editor, like it's
Mm-hmm.
stressful having to deal with that. For example, my girlfriend uses, and she has over a decade of experience editing videos, and she uses CapCut for a lot of them because it's gotten so good for a lot of different types of videos and more straightforward than Adobe Premiere, even though she's got plenty of skills to use that. It's just like for simplicity and for certain videos, CapCut's great. So
Yeah.
that's like the thing that wasn't talked about enough when this whole TikTok thing happened a few days ago. And that's why I wanted to make a video that covers both things within a short 5 minutes. And I covered
Mm-hmm.
like the high overview of the situation, but also more importantly, it's to remind people that like this whole thing is about creating for your business. It's not about creating
Yeah.
for views that get you nowhere. So
Yeah.
there's the bigger guys with much bigger followings that say this stuff, but if you go on a smaller scale with smaller creators like us, like you don't need to have thousands, millions of followers to monetize your content and make six figures, not a year, but a month. Like you can make six,
Mm-hmm.
seven, eight. Like you don't need to have a huge following. You need to have a following that actually can turn into clients and diehard fans, which like if you lose access to TikTok and that's all you were relying on, then I'm sorry, but you didn't have a business. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a business. So
I saw it from what you were saying with your girlfriend's perspective in terms of the creative side. Because when I heard
yeah.
about CapCut being taken away for a lot of people, I'm quite lucky. I'm based in Europe, but my business is based in the US in terms of my
Mhm.
clientele. And a lot of people were asking me about it. And the thing is that through my career, I started off with hope I don't get in trouble for this one, but a dodgy version of Photoshop. And then I started working for a company and obviously had the full nice Adobe suite. But I started off with Photoshop, and if I had just stuck with Photoshop and that's all I ever had, I'd only have one skill, but I'd also only have one platform. And
Mhm.
throughout my career, I've had to pick up different creative studios. Like, be it I work with Affinity now, which is an alternative. Anybody who doesn't know, it's an alternative to Adobe. I still work with Adobe because I have clients that want to work with Adobe. Web development, I primarily use WordPress, but as we'll get onto this in a bit, but as AI comes into play, that's massively changing as well. For me, my bit of advice is that, and I'll tell any young person this that's sick of school and they're going, I don't want to learn. And it's just, you don't stop learning. You never ever stop learning. And you have to educate yourself in new platforms, in new stuff that are going to help you with your business. Because for me, those people that are not keeping up to date with the latest software, with the latest technology, are going to just find it a much bigger hill to climb when the software they're using is just redundant and or gets taken away. In this instance, it's not about being redundant. CapCut is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic for automating a lot of the stuff that video creators do. It's not replacing Premiere Pro and stuff like that, but for content creators, it's done a great job. But if that gets taken away, what's your backup? And if you've not educated yourself on the alternatives to begin with, you're going to be one step behind the guy that's, hey, it's okay. I know how to use Wondershare. I know how to use captions. I know how to use this bit of software.
I would think of it like do you watch MMA at all?
I have done, yeah. No,
But
I
you're
watch a lot of sport anyway. So, but I
okay.
watch almost every kind of sport. But yeah, I've watched a bit.
I'll tie this with everything that happened with TikTok and CapCut in the best possible analogy
Yeah.
I
Okay,
can deliver.
I like this. I like this already.
If if you get in the cage and you fight with someone and you've already got training in hoping you've got like training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and some kind of striking, whether it be boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, like
Mhm.
whatever it is, and then you've got like good wrestling, all that. Then if let's say you get kicked in the calf and you're hurting so much, you're limping, so you can't keep striking. So you're gonna go on your back and try to bring the fight to the ground.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, the important thing is that you're in the cage, you're fighting, and you're trying to win. If I
Mhm.
tie this to a video editor or a video agency who mainly or only uses CapCut as their platform to edit videos and don't even have a backup, then it's like a boxer who goes in the ring with like a very experienced MMA fighter who not only knows
Mhm.
boxing but has all those other grappling skills, jiu-jitsu skills, wrestling, Muay Thai skills, like all that. So if one thing doesn't work, he's got the other thing. It's not
Yeah.
about the shiny object and being distracted. It's about whether or not you don't end up using it. If things go to shit and you can't use it because it's not within your control, then if you don't have a backup, whether or not you ever need it, then that's irresponsible. If your goal isn't just to create and consume, but to create and consume in a way that grows your brand and business and monetizes the whole thing. There's you need that backup plan. If I tie this back to like video and the agency and being a creator, you could specialize in CapCut, you could specialize in
Mhm.
Adobe, but if one of them disappears overnight, which is pretty much what happened with TikTok and CapCut, which are both owned by ByteDance, their parent company, then you're fucked. And you don't have
Yeah.
business, you don't have anything to do, you don't have files backed up. So if your files aren't backed up, if you don't have anything to fall back on to keep the engine running, then what are you doing this for? What's the point of all of it? If you're just creating TikToks because you were having fun with it, then oh man, it sucks. But it's like,
Yeah.
all right, you'll move on to the next
Yeah.
platform. But if
Yeah.
it's your livelihood to use these platforms, whether you're from the editor perspective or in the TikTok creator shoes, if you don't have a backup for those creatives or your
Mhm.
analytics or all that data backed up somewhere, you're like just assuming that this platform's always going to be there and you're never going to
Yep.
be impacted by it, assuming that it'll never rain, there's never going to be a fire, and you're never going to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
There's so many different examples. I could have the MMA cage analogy. I could have the very unfortunate news that like the stuff that happened in LA. Like if these people
Yeah.
didn't have family, if these people, and some of them don't, which is really sad,
Mm.
but if you're someone that has all your network, all your belongings, all your stuff in that place, and you haven't continue to like nurture your relationships with friends, family, network outside of this little bubble, then you're it's just it's irresponsible, it's reckless, and it's unfortunate.
It's. I liked your MMA analogy because I relate a lot of stuff back to sport in general. I'm a big soccer. I hate to say it, but football soccer fan. Also a
I'm
bit
not a
tennis.
soccer guy, so I don't care if football,
I,
soccer, doesn't matter.
I'm also a big tennis fan, which I'm watching at the moment, which is it's amazing to see because just like your MMA analogy, you can have one of I'm sure you've heard of if you're not a tennis fan, I'm sure you've heard of Djokovic, one of the all-time greats. He was in a match recently and got injured, but he still managed to play and win the match, and it was because he was able to change his tactics. And I think I would say just over a year ago, I was doing freelance work. I was working for agencies and being a creative director for multiple agencies to create. And I, last January, hit a bit of a burnout and was like, "Oh, something's got to change." And it was conversations with people like yourself that kind of directed me into launching Designflix because I'd had this idea for so long. I had this idea of how can I bring this jack of all trades, which is what I class myself as, but also the creative director that I've been for coming up to 15 years. And, I was like, okay, I'll productize my service. So I created Designflix. We offer unlimited design requests, but we don't just do that. And the reason we don't just do that is because we have people that come up that don't need that. So we have like other options to help people out. I I don't know how you feel about this, but I get you see a lot of coaches, a lot of people out there, a lot of people that are very high profile out there saying that the only way that you can be successful is niching down. And I think there is some credit to that in some areas, but it does worry me a little bit that some businesses niche down so much that when things like this happen, where a whole kind of business or industry can just go down like that. And
I can
if an
definitely.
app or company can do it, you got to have those backups to go. Do you know what? I'm going to be working with this. I've got one of my clients. He's an amazing Facebook ads guy, but he said to me, he was like, "There's times where Meta's having a moment and it doesn't quite work with his face. So but he knows Google Ads. He knows how to do advertising on all the different networks. He also knows how to make money for clients without doing ads. So he's got that option in his back pocket, and that's where I see people being successful.
Yeah, yeah. You brought up like the niche stuff, which is another thing that I'm pretty that's a thing that I've had to walk through over the years and figure out like what does it mean? Where does niching down actually tie in? What does it actually mean? And one thing that like coaches, like people of higher influence say that people that are not as advanced take a certain way is like your niche isn't oh, I'm like I do YouTube. Like it's like your niche isn't the platform itself.
Yeah.
It's the medium that you choose to get the end result.
Hmm.
And the medium that you choose to get the end result, if we keep this tied to TikTok, is let's say you're a TikTok UGC agency for ecom brands. Their end result is turning those creatives into customers for the products that they're selling. So it's attention that converts, brand, trust, credibility, whatever it is, it's all tied back to the end result and the way that you're delivering it. So if you're, for example, using Webflow for websites and then Webflow stops working for whatever reason, then you are still the Webflow specialist, but you need to have those backups like, oh, I'm not the main expert, but at the end of the day, I am a business owner, so I should have backups of other people that can help me continue to serve my clients with other options, which all lead back to offering the thing it is you're offering for the end result that you're promising. So you could go I posted on Facebook before the YouTube video that I posted, and then I had a few people in there that they're super committed to TikTok because in the early days, of it, they got a lot of views, or they got like a few videos going viral, so they attach their identity to the platform, which it's like cool, man. Like you got a bunch of followers or views from it. And then when I go and ask questions like, okay, what's the ROI that you got for your client acquisition, for your business growth, for that, for the
Mhm.
actual business? When I ask that, crickets.
Yeah.
And that's just because people are attached to the identity of the platform that they grew successful in. But then
Mhm.
when you say success, what does success mean?
Mm.
Is success getting a bunch of clout of people that won't pay for your services? Or is success I get a few hundred views that turn into book calls or that turn into paid productized service members? What is
Mhm.
success to you? If you're coming at it from a business growth perspective and your whole goal with it is not just to have that creative outlet, cool, we get to create videos, sure, but you're also building a business. And that's, if that doesn't speak to you, then that's like not what this is about. I'm not about that. I'll create
Yeah.
videos for fun, but then creating videos for business, this is what the talk is about. And it's the
Yeah.
same for TikTok. You could be an expert on there, but even though a TikTok video isn't the exact same, it isn't going to work the exact same on YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn Reels, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, repurposed into text posts, all of that.
Mhm.
It's not going to be optimized, but you still have to have it out there so that if shit hits the
Yeah.
fan, you have that backup and you could transition a bit more smoothly to those other platforms as things adjust on your main platform. And then if you see that the platform is RIP, completely vetoed, then you have to start adjusting. At the end of the day, it's like you got to have an offer and figure out a way to get attention to grow your brand and business. And TikTok isn't the only place for that.
Yeah,
You
that's
can be the
I've actually got your post up just here, and I was just got it in here, and I was like, yeah, I read it the other day, and was just like, yeah, I do have sympathy for people that rely solely on one thing. I've been there and done it and made the mistake, but hopefully posts like that, people having these conversations, talking about these things, makes people realize to widen the things that they're using. For those that are looking into getting more into video creation, I know that you and I have spoken about video creation. I've done a couple of videos myself, but definitely need to do more, which is this is hopefully the start of it. In terms of short form video content, though, which is something that you do a lot of, and creating video content to get leads and grow your business, you know, for somebody getting started in that, what is your best bit of advice for somebody that's getting started in that? And that how that creating video content, it doesn't have to be coaches, it could be any kind of business that can benefit from it. What's your, as the expert, because I put you as the expert, best bit of advice on that?
Yeah, I'll answer the question, but I'll be clear on that. As you can see today, like I have times where I have really good looking
Mhm.
videos. Go and check some of my YouTube videos. And other times where I have more like choppy looking resolution, low resolution type videos. And
Yeah.
the reason being is that my goal isn't to try to compete with those super talented Peter McKinnons of the world with very high quality videos, or like Mr.
Mhm.
Beast, or like film directors or
Yeah.
anything. I use it all for my true passion, which is sales and marketing, and then
Mhm.
helping other online business owners build a business to fit that builds the lifestyle that they want. So it all ties back to using the medium for my end result. My end result is business growth.
Mhm.
And I do love making videos, but I love business more than making videos. That's why I don't always completely go super hard on the quality. Is that an excuse to be lazy with some of it? Maybe to an extent, but it's also just, hey, I'd rather show up and get on this pod with Alex and connect and jam on stuff,
Mhm.
and then hopefully get a few people listening and watching, and then they get some value from it and
Yeah.
get actually take action on it, which will bring me back to your answer, to your question. I would say to any business owner, online business owner, service business, whatever business, if you're looking to use video to grow your business, the first thing I would do is just first make sure you have a business. Make sure you have an offer that people want. Um, Make sure that you have a clear ideal client, like an ICP, ideal customer profile, and use that to have the right to build the right messaging. Because if you try to just create without any intention, then you're gonna shoot blanks and you're not gonna hit anywhere. So I would highly recommend first, do you have a business? Do you have an offer that people want? How you can validate that is through, hey, are you making money from the service that you offer every single month without going broke? Do you have a consistent like pipeline of clients coming back, whether it be from referrals, from your website, from your network, from outreach, from ads, like whatever it is, are people buying into your service?
Hmm.
And if you're getting enough to actually sustain your lifestyle, not go hungry, pay your bills, support your family, and enjoy the life, whatever that means to you, then you've got something good enough to pick up the phone and hit record. So once you got those three things, your ICP, your offer, your ICP,
Yeah.
and your messaging in place from that as a guide, then you just need to pick up a phone or a camera and start filming. And then
Yeah.
that's it.
That's the big you picked when you said pick up the phone. That's
Yeah.
for me the biggest and the best bit of advice that I can give anybody is the I'm filming with my phone right now, so I can't pick it up. But just pick up the phone because the matter of just doing a quick record and then just posting it on Facebook with zero edits is so much better than nothing at all. And that's something that I've realized. I've done something recently, which is you and I have spoken a little bit of how we use AI within our business. How I'm using it at the moment is I don't have time or necessarily the resources in terms of location and stuff to do beautiful photo shoots and stuff like that. But I'm a big part of my brand because I offer every single client that I work with, I'm their personal creative director. So they always get to have a personal relationship with myself. Me having my face out there is great, but I only had a couple of photos on my phone that were worthwhile using on social media. So I got my phone out, took a load of photos. I trained an AI, which I get for some YouTube videos. And I've been using AI profile shots of myself, and I think they look great. I think we've got some great compliments on the thumbnail for this podcast. But it's about using the technology you've got at hand. It's so easy to do. We have clients that deliver extremely bad, low res photos that they must have taken about 20 years ago of their products. And I'm like, just get your product. You've got it at home. Go put it on a table. Get your iPhone out and take a shot of it because it'll be better than what you've just said. And I think people don't realize the power of this device that what most people spend about $800 at the very least on a mobile phone every 2 3 years. That's the people that are well behaved. I think some people spend a lot more, and it can do so much. And I think that's something that you've shown with a lot of your reels and stories that you'll just post something, put some captions on it, and just post it. I've seen your highly edited stuff, and I've definitely seen your stuff that's less edited. And I don't think one offers more value than the other. It's one might catch the eye better, but I definitely would say when you're not out there, that's the moment that you are losing out. And that's something I've definitely learned from yourself over the last few months. Just one last thing, because I know I try and keep this on the half an hour mark, but you have you got any plans for the future in terms of what's your plan this year to help you not get stuck in using one platform and stuff? Are you integrating AI into your, because I know you've spoken about automation and things like that. Is that kind of your next kind of area?
Yeah. So for me, I've got this thing with YouTube where like for the longest time I've always loved the idea of making it on there, and to me making it changed over the years. Before I was getting a whole bunch of views and just like filming vlogs or like my travels or like even prank videos way back. Like I played with it way before even social media was like a really normal thing. I've make so for me, YouTube is the main one because it's the one that has long form and short form now. So for me, it all like the conversions come from where you've nurtured your leads. and you
Hmm.
can nurture a lead in a 60-second to 3-minute video, which now IG and most platforms offer up to 3 minutes for short form, which is great because you get a little bit more context for each video. But to me, it's the plans are really to go heavily into YouTube long forms and then chop up versions, not just like redistribute from the long,
Hmm.
but actually refilm short form versions of each topic within each video of the long form to make the most
Okay.
of it.
Yeah.
But YouTube's really the main one that I'm focused on this
Yeah.
year and moving forward, just because that's where I get the most quality eyeballs. Because anyone who's willing to watch a whole 10-minute plus video, or even 5, 6, 8 minutes, is more qualified than someone who just scrolls on
Yeah.
TikTok or IG or
Yeah.
so. It's for me, like if someone can implement the same thing and be an expert at TikTok first, if that's what they want, for me, it's really YouTube first, and then any platform that has DMs into it, I just
Hmm.
plug it into the whole system. So it
Yeah.
starts at long form, which is the most difficult to produce, and most people are lazy and not willing to put in the work to create good long form videos. So I'll start where it's harder, since I want conversions. I want to build my business more than create cool looking videos. So I'm starting with the hardest, focusing on the hardest, and then it makes the short forms a lot easier after
Yeah.
that. But then I'm just distributing all of it across any platform that offers short form videos. And AI comes into it just to help with research,
Mm.
structuring things from real conversational like scripts that I've written or my team has helped me write. But AI comes into it just to validate things, automate the tedious parts
Hmm.
with like making sure grammar's right,
Hmm.
structure's right, little pieces like filling gaps or chopping up certain things. But that's what I'm using it for, just to speed up the whole process. And just to give you an idea, the last YouTube video that I created, I scripted it myself, ran it through an AI content agent that we have within my agency to
Hmm.
optimize it, got the thumbnail done by my global creative team, remote content team, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm. Hmm.
and got it edited all within 12 hours.
Nice. Nice.
That
Yeah.
video was with in less than a day was done. So
Yeah.
you could definitely, if you're willing to put in the work, like you can produce pretty high quality videos
Yeah.
if you want to put your energy into it. But it all
Yeah.
comes down to what's the goal of this video? Could I do it in a choppy loom or quick recording like this, or can I
Yeah.
put in the resources to make a
Yeah.
nicer looking video? The goal is really, if is this message gonna hit the audience that you're looking to reach, and does the quality matter more than the message and mission itself? Over time, like your pod, my videos, all that, sure, you can grow and scale your operations to have consistently nice looking creatives. But even the biggest guys in the space, they don't always have the best looking videos. They just know that
No,
it's about
it's
attention and distribution. It's attention
yeah.
at scale. That's all it is.
And it's all about quality of the content as well. I think you have the right people, and which brings us to a nice end because it has been quality to have you on, and I hope that we can continue chatting about this stuff as it progresses. And yeah, we'll take it from there. But I know we've got to finish. Thanks a lot for joining, David, and yeah, some great bits of advice. And yeah, we're looking forward to the next one. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers, dude.